as far as I could go.
So you lied to me.
Whew.
I already hit record. I was going to ask you about your night the other night, but maybe we do that one-on-one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo.
All right, let me give some shout-outs and get the hell out of here. Just kidding.
Yeah, it was a good night.
A shorty but a goodie. Let's see how many listeners I can get organically.
Organic.
Without the help of my friend with 25,000 followers on Twitter.
Bitches love organic.
They love that organic D. As in
Dimmy dinga damadugadung.
No, what's that guy's name in Golden State that just showed his penis?
Draymond Green.
Draymond, they love the D like they love Draymond Green. It would have been better if I just had that right. If I just had that in the chamber ready to fucking fire.
Fire.
See, there you go again, trying to out mic me.
No, not even.
Let me invite Tim. What if he was around and just came on right now? That would be fun. That would be awesome. Okay, so let's get it started.
Ready when you are.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I am your interplanetary host, Travis Radio Face Montgomery. Tonight it's just me and Kenny. Kenny, give a little shout out to anyone who might be listening out there.
What up, any possible listeners? Don't want to show favoritism towards anyone. So, yeah, love you all.
Yeah, right. Equally. Those people that are listening in France right now, we fucking love you.
Oh, yeah, you guys are dedicated listeners. I love it.
And we'll keep bringing them. You keep downloading them. That's our motto. Well, anyways, we have a sponsor now, which happens to be my wife's company, and I know that's super cheesy, but I want to do a read for her because I believe in what she's doing right now. And it goes a little something like this. Have you ever tried LuLaRoe clothing? ? LuLaRoe offers comfortable and modest clothing for all sizes, such as amazing buttery soft leggings, a variety of tops, skirts, and dresses, as well as kids' lines, and even a few men's shirts. LuLaRoe offers custom and limited patterns. Everyone needs the comfort and style LuLaRoe offers. Check out LuLaRoe Jess on Periscope, Instagram, and Twitter. So LuLaRoe, Carrie Jess is one word. And I'll post some.
How do you spell that?
It is LuLaRoe. Carrie is KRI, and then Jess is JESS. We'll post it so people can go check out their stuff. It's really. I mean, I see the stuff. I see a lot of now that we have women's clothing in my house, like on the regular. I start to notice other women's clothing, and it's their patterns are really, I don't know, they're really unique. They look really good, and I think they're doing a good thing. They're selling a lot. The business is taking off, and it's not just from chance. It's because people really like the stuff that they're doing. So hats off to them. And Kenny, how are you doing? Tell us about your new ventures and what you got going on.
I got out to shoot another take at the strip talk video, and it was a lot. I definitely found the location. I would have had it perfect, but there was a couple of things that were a little off on the final take once I got it all chopped up. So I'm gonna take one more stab at it, try to get it as perfect as I can, and it should be hopefully ready and done and cut up and everything ready by the end of this week, and then hopefully have the first complete 15-minute. I'm aiming for about 10 minutes for an episode, but have the first 10-minute episode completely shot and done by my showcase at the middle of this month, or actually towards the end of this month, which is down in Sun Valley, California, for the Moist Day Club label.
Sun Valley.
Yeah, it's about Burbank-ish.
Yeah, that's not far away from me.
Yeah, no, everyone's welcome.
What day is that going to be?
It's August 20th. It's a Saturday.
Because I hardly listen to anything you say.
That's apparent. That's apparent.
No. I was just August 20th.
Yep, Saturday. It's a Saturday.
August 28th. Great. So I'll be
20th. 20.
Oh, damn. All right, there I go again.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
people from France, you're invited too. Oh, you could
people from France.
Oh, you should come and set up a live podcast.
Use those frequent flyer miles. Well, we lost our 2 live listeners already, but I'm sure more will come in.
Yeah.
I think they're just curious. They just, what are they doing? Like, I'm not really that curious. I just want to see what the hell they're doing.
Bunch of looky-loos and lessy-loos.
It's a bunch of just nosy-ass bastards is what they are.
Those bastards.
Those bastards. So with me, I went on vacation last week. Didn't really have any thoughts gathered to spew to you guys, but I can say that we had fun. 2 days poolside and 2 other days basically of travel. Actually, the first day when we got there,
where'd you guys go? Where'd you guys go?
We went to the Paula Casino.
Oh, nice. Is it cool? I've never been there. I hear the advertisements on the radio all the time, but
it's nice. It's like well, I actually met a Vegas local in there who's a pro who goes there to gamble because he claims he doesn't get any perks from being a Vegas local anymore.
It's possible.
He says, well, it's not. He says it's not worth it to gamble in Vegas right now. I think that's what for the locals is what his words were. If I could butcher that many more than I just.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a huge gambler, so I couldn't. I don't relate. Now you want to talk about partying, that's a whole nother story. But gambling, no, I'm not. I'll play some blackjack from time to time, and I'll play some craps from time to time, but only when I'm in the mood for losing money.
Yeah, when you're just like IDGAF, and we're gonna throw some money down.
Yep, exactly. It's basically like either that or a strip club when I'm ready to party.
So yeah, I was there poolside. My parents pretty much paid for a lot of it. They didn't pay for the whole entire trip. I mean, we still got to like gamble and eat, and they paid for a meal. But it was great. We had a cabana, 2 days straight at a cabana. Me and my brother Nick tore that shit up.
Popping bottles, son.
Oh man,
Corona
it was cool.
Bottles.
and my 2-year-old son TJ just loves the pool. You can't get him out. You cannot get him out of the pool.
Oh, no matter how hot it is.
I wish we would have taken more pictures, but
do you remember being that, like, well, obviously probably not that age, but do you remember being that age where you didn't care how hot it was? Sometimes you didn't even care how cold it was. You just wanted to be in the pool.
Oh yeah, I almost drowned when I was like 4 years old because we've always owned a pool wherever I've lived. I freaking drowned in one. I didn't even know how to swim.
What that house off of what, Pioneer or Artesia? What was it off of?
Exactly. It was off of 195th and Gridley Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
That was the first house that I ever graced my presence with.
Almost drowned in. That was the first house he almost drowned.
Well, yeah, I was pushing on a soccer ball, and back then you didn't have much parental vision or whatever you want to call it. So I'm pushing on a soccer ball, and it slips out from under me. It like rolls forward, and I actually like fall forward. I hit my head on the side of the pool and get knocked out. I'm unconscious, laying at the bottom of the pool.
What?
Yeah, I almost.
So who found you?
My brother Nick saw me laying at the bottom of the pool and ran in and called my dad.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I almost died that day, and but it's all good because I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, apparently.
We just had 2 more looky-loos, you fucks. But no, that was a crazy. I mean, I don't remember it. I kind of remember looking at a soccer ball, and might have been my earliest memory because of like how crucial it was. Like they had to do CPR, or my dad actually did CPR on me, and
On that time or another time?
yeah, no, that time I was like he got me out of the pool and did CPR, and
Well,
helicopter almost landed. It was pretty intense.
I see you. That would have that would
That
have
would
been
have
all bad.
sucked.
Yeah,
There
that
would be
would have
no
been all bad.
Mercury's cast.
Yeah, there would be no Mercury's cast. There would be no Travis and Kenny.
There'd be no T and K. Tell you that much.
Uh,
Uh, so yeah. Other than that, I mean, we had a great time. I gambled one night. I tried not to turn it into a big gambling trip because I've had a habit of like ditching my wife and kid and just go on like a run. But it was more of a family oriented trip, and it was great. It was our summer vacation, and we got it done. And now it's almost back to school time, so time to hit that. You know,
Your son's in school or no?
no, Sierra is. She's
Oh,
11.
that's right. That's right. Do you at Paula or any of the casinos out that way? Do they let you drink for free too when you're gambling?
Nope,
You got to pay for it,
you got paid.
and they charge you a tax, huh? On like every hand that you gamble.
Yes,
Oh
in
man,
most games, not
yeah.
every game,
I went
but
to
like,
the I went to the Hawaiian Garden Casino one time, and I was like, "Wait, what? Wait,
oh
what?"
Lord.
Oh yeah, I was like, "This is horrible. Even when you win, you lose. Like it's like, wait, what?" Yeah, anyway, oh, we lost you visually here, Travis.
They just redid that casino.
The Hawaiian Gardens, they did it again.
Yeah,
They actually built a building, or is it
they
still in
actually
that big
built the
ass
building.
thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's I haven't been inside. I was only inside for the tents, but
yeah, yeah. I'm
Tent
talking.
City.
This was like back almost 10 years ago. Probably I was probably about 22, maybe. Yeah, about 9 years ago.
Hmm.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, you have anything on your mind that you've been wanting to talk about, or what about these presidential candidates? Seemed like they just came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, well, not really Tim Kaine. He was leader of the DNC a couple of
Oh,
years ago. He was a couple of years ago, but he isn't still like a household name. So yeah, I could see how you would assume that or you would say that, but
I just think that they should have gone like both of them could have gone with a sexier kind of name. You
well,
know?
yeah, I think Hillary could have went with someone a little bit more liberal for sure. But then the I don't know. The thing that puzzles me about Donald Trump is his whole like his whole campaign is pretty much predicated on him being an outsider. And then he goes and picks a vice president that's like one of a huge insider. So like I mean he's been in he's been in government for like over 10 years. He voted for the Iraq war. Like it I don't know. It just
Well,
it does. I mean, I know why he did it to like calm all like the people who were worried about him being unstable and whatnot. But like for all the I don't know for the way that he got to where he was going and him being an outsider, he sure did pick an insider. Because I mean, if something happened to him, who would end up being running the running government?
who'd you want him to pick? Mark Cuban? I mean,
No, Mark Cuban just endorsed Hillary Clinton.
yeah, but he was, I don't know, he was kind of on the Trump train for a little bit.
For a second, yeah, he was. I do
He
remember
was.
that he was, and then he was like, "Holy shit, this dude is crazy! I got to do
And he's like, I'm
something.
losing half my fucking
I got
stock right now.
I got to do something to correct this." No,
Yeah.
I
That
don't
was
know.
more. I think that was more a money pressure
A
thing than
business.
he probably secretly endorses Trump, but he's like, oh, I can't. Wow, this is really not working out for me.
Shark Tank came on. It was like, so Mark, yeah, we're gonna have to put you as an alternate.
So, what else can you say about Mr. Kane that most people maybe wouldn't know?
Um, apparently he is pro-life. Apparently he's pro-life, which probably
Ooh.
would confuse a few people. But he also has said that he isn't gonna let his religious views, because he's religiously pro-life, but he's not gonna let his religious views dictate what laws are on the books.
See, and that's where this comes in as like Hillary isn't running on a super progressive ticket. She's kind of a centrist. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if anything, she's a centrist.
No, for sure she's a centrist. Like, that's pretty much has always been her appeal. That's what the Clinton's appeal has pretty much been. Like, I forget who it was, but there was a famous Republican saying that Bill Clinton was like the best Republican president ever, just because his policies like were so like centrist. But
Right.
you know, like, that only leads to getting you hated by both sides, because look what they're going through right now. The most progressive on the left don't like them, and the most conservative on the right don't like them.
Yeah, the progressives are gonna like a lot of the progressives are gonna end up voting for Trump, which is weird.
No, I don't think they'll end up voting for Trump. They just won't vote, which is, I mean, some people do consider that a vote for Trump, which is true. The less turnout there is, I think the more probability it's going to go for Trump. But at the same time, I don't see how he could win. Like, but then I said the same thing about Bush, even though I wasn't allowed to vote back then. And
Are
somehow
you gonna
he's still
vote? Are you
going.
gonna vote for Hillary?
Yeah,
I won't.
yeah, no, yeah, I am. I am.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna vote for Hillary because I mean, I would like. I was, diehard Bernie, but guess what? His train lost. I'm not gonna hitch my train to losing candidate. That's for sure. If they got maybe over like 10, if they were in the race for a longer time and they had more time to like state their positions and get more people on board. But look, Bernie Sanders got on board like 2 months late and missed the registering deadline for half of the states, so people couldn't re-register.
I don't. It's hard to say where Bernie went wrong. I don't think he could have ever beat Hillary though. Just, I mean, didn't he get more like physical votes than Hillary did, and Hillary won just on the delegates alone? I mean, didn't isn't that kind of the deal?
No, he had like, in terms if it was just a popular vote presence, yeah, it would have. But just like the presidency isn't a popular vote, it's based off of electoral, like an elect or what's it called, delegates. And the way they go about breaking up the delegates is, I mean, it's probably not official, but I believe it somewhat correlates to the way that the electoral map is broken up. And you win certain counties, you win certain portions of a state, you win the state, no matter what the actual voter turnout is. So it really does come down to whose organization game is better. And like I said, Bernie, where Bernie went wrong was him kind of pussyfooting around and not saying he was going to run. Oh, I'm going to run. I'm not going to run. I'm looking into it. If he would have, the reason why Obama was pretty successful was like from the beginning, once the campaigns like started, like he was in it, he was running. So he had like an extra like 2 months, even though the campaigning started at a later portion than it did this time around. Obama still had more time to organize and had more of a grassroots, because I mean he was a unique candidate. So at least that's my take on it.
Yeah, Trump at one point was like friends with Hillary, which is weird.
What a huge donor to her. He's on record as recent as 2008, like backing Hillary Clinton. And then when she lost to Obama, he kind of went crazy on the Obama birther thing. and she kind of denounced him, and since then he's been at her throat.
Well, if you want to know the big difference that I think between Hillary and Trump, and you're not going to like this at all, but I think Hillary Clinton will deliberately nosedive the country into like just a terrible situation where
You
Trump
think
would
she would
probably
deliberately do it? You think she would deliberately?
I think
She
that
would
it's
say,
part of a
"Hey,
plan.
that's a horrible decision. I'm gonna just tank us into that decision." So
I don't know.
Okay, what would make you think that? Like, okay, yes, she did mishandle the Arab Spring situation, but honestly, like, what do you think anybody else could have done to make that situation better? It was it was like 5 or 6 countries, like civil war going on. Like, we shouldn't be getting involved in people's civil war. Like, I really don't
try and blame Bush because Obama had 8
I'm
years.
not trying to say that, but again, I always go back to this analogy. How long does it take you to make your paycheck in a week? Or how long does it make you to make a paycheck?
A week.
A week, right? But how fast can you spend that paycheck? So if you can spend it, imagine Bush just spending, and then Obama having to come in to work like a Rihanna
Watch
to
out,
earn it
Rihanna.
all back, to make it all back. And I'm not saying that he's perfect. No, he's made some mistakes too. But at the same time, like, we also have to remember when he came in, the country was losing like close to 800,000 jobs a month. Our what's it called? The stock market was down below 10,000 points. Like, our auto industry was getting ready to go belly up. Like, it wasn't just like he came in and like everything was rosy. Like, there was tons of shit going on at one time. And I think people lose sight of that.
Well, he had 8 years.
Okay, what is 8 years going to do? When he came in, he said it's gonna take longer than just my presidency. It's not gonna happen in 1 term, not in 2 terms, longer than my presidency. It's got to be something that the country took 200 years to get in the position that we're in 2008 when he took over. You think he's gonna solve the problems of the country in 8 years? No, he just got to put us on. He's got to put us on a track.
Most of the problems were like 20, 30 years old to begin with.
Which the whole Middle East problem goes back to mid 19th century, or what's it called? To mid last century, the 1950s.
Well, a conflict, yeah, but not the main reason why we have so many bases in countries that we have no business being in there. I mean, that didn't start.
Yes, it does.
A century ago.
Yes, it does. Not a century ago, but it dates back to World War II. Why do we have a post in Germany still? Why do we have a post in Italy still? Why do we have a post in Japan still? Why do we have a post in
Why do we have a post in Saudi Arabia right now?
Because
it was exposed.
Because we need one there. It's a strategic outpost.
You know what? We need to bring all of those troops home, in my opinion. Just bring them home.
Okay, I would agree to an extent. The only issue is that we've adopted such a militaristic a presence around the world that if we do take our troops from anywhere, we have the possibility of what's happened in Iraq happening, and in Afghanistan happening, and Syria happening. Like, it's hard to just pull back at any point. The reason, like, I don't think Obama had, like, I don't know if it was smart. Obviously, I mean, looking at it in hindsight, it probably wasn't a good idea to pull out the troops from Iraq. But at some point, we would have had to do it. Some president would have had to do it, or it would have been just like Germany. It would have been just like Japan. Like, there isn't going to be an endpoint to having a military base in any part of the world once you set up one. It's going to be impossible. And the whole reason.
So So forever, we have a couple hundred bases all around the world, and forever we are going to have Americans risk their lives by even being there in a lot of these places, just for the fact that we need to have like we don't
No,
need people there. Why do we need people there? Give
I
me a good
okay.
reason
Listen,
for that.
listen. I agree 100%. I don't think we should have these things there, but good luck getting rid of that. You know, if Trump's elected, that's not happening. He's talking about building up the military. You do realize that, right? He's talking about building up the
Well, that's
military
what
and
he
making it
says.
stronger.
How could you build it up any more than it already is?
Okay, so
There's no way to build it up stronger than it already is. It's already like it's already out of control, big.
our budget for the military is like,
Hundreds of billions of maybe if not $1 trillion.
yeah,
It's way up there. And even what they disclose and what happens with private companies is like it's so crazy.
yeah.
I've been in government buildings
Our,
and there's so many three-letter organizations and oh my god, it's just like the rabbit hole goes way deep.
like I believe the military budget is more than like our next 20 some odd allied countries combined. Like it's ridiculous, but at the same time, I mean, who wants to be the person to say no? We got okay. Let's not have a base over in this part of the world because of fear what has happened in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Well, we have drones now. We don't really need boots
Yeah,
on the ground anywhere.
do you not understand the fact like the drones? And I mean, I agree when I think it's safer for our troops personally, but it doesn't make good for overall foreign policy because a drone attack can, even if it's not a drone attack, even if it's a friendly fire, like if it's the Islamic State like sending in mortars and stuff, they just end up blaming it on the Americans because they don't know where the bombing is coming from. So it's just used as propaganda. That's
I like how
why
you said Islamic State. Is that how you always refer to them? Or is there you ever say ISIS or Taliban or
I whatever comes to I'll call them, what is it, Daesh if I need to, if that's what
because
comes to
Obama
mind.
won't say ISIS.
Yeah, he calls them ISIS.
No, he don't.
Yes, he does, or he calls them Daesh or
Daesh, is that it? Because like everyone out that's Muslim would understand that, and I don't because I'm not. But
well,
Obama
apparently
might.
Daesh is like it's like a derogatory term for it. It's not. They don't like going by that name.
What about that priest killer who they're not going to bury, and now it's going against their own religious beliefs, like we have had in our chat, where you start turning their own religious beliefs against them, and that might be an effective tool. What do you think?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it makes sense. Like, why would you give anyone the respects of a burial that you don't that did something to like contort your religion like that? Like, I wouldn't give them a burial. Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. All that does is just give like the same reason why Osama bin Laden's buried at sea. It gives the gatherers somewhere, or it gives the worshipers or the people who want to praise the guy a place to congregate. Burn them, and spread their ashes in manure or something. I don't know.
Well, Kenny, I would have to say that there are more Muslims to worry about than there are Christians.
Why do I feel like I'm more of the conservative on this issue right now? On this war issue right now.
I'm saying that I'm not worried about the Christian dude on the airplane or at an
why,
airport or at a public spot.
why not?
I'm more worried about.
You just had that dude. You just had the gang shooting, or not gang shooting, the shooting in the nightclub in Orlando, where what 2 died and 14 were injured. That's pretty significant. That shit got washed under the rug. You had the attack in Japan where the dude like killed like tens of I want to say like upwards of 30 people because they were disabled. And I think that got like maybe a mention in the news blurb, but since it
So
wasn't ISIS,
what you're saying is that the extreme Muslims, they get more attention than just the regular.
they get more attention when it happens to a Western civilization. These attacks and stuff has been happening in Africa and in the Middle East forever. It just hasn't gotten the coverage. But
Well,
now
I
that it's
agree. But do they have major news publications there that are there to
no,
cover it?
no, because they get taken out by the organizations. That's
Well,
why.
yeah.
That's
You know
why.
what?
That's
If you told me to go down to Africa to cover some shit that's going on, I'm like, no way, I would not do that. I
yeah,
mean, no one
but
wants to
that's
sign up for that.
yeah, but that's the issue. No one wants to sign up for that until it comes to your doorstep, and then it's at your
Where
doorstep,
there's
and then
actually cameras and there's witnesses and people's with iPhones that can capture it. I mean, I know it's a travesty that it doesn't go documented in these other countries, but now that we're starting to see it in these Western civilizations, and I know it's fucked up that it goes unnoticed in all these other places, but the fact of the matter is that there's no media there to cover it. I
there
mean, it's
is, but
kind of
there
a
isn't.
simple.
There is, but there isn't. Like
The journalist that it's a journalist with a blog on a website that hardly gets read that is there covering this crap. And I wish I
right,
saw. I would publish those on our social media if I could find them, but they're not
well,
on the major news publications. It's
right,
hard.
right. No, I understand that, but it's kind of like the old what's it called, Holocaust poem where dude talks about how they come for everybody else that wasn't him, and he didn't say anything because it wasn't him, and then all of a sudden they come for him, and there was no one left to speak for him. Like we don't say anything when it's happening, when the massacres are happening in a land that we don't have any kind of interactions with or benefit from in any way, shape, or form. Afghanistan doesn't produce anything but what, heroin, poppy fields. I don't think they have oil. Do they have oil? That's what Iraq was for, I believe.
Congo has
So,
oil.
so yeah, okay, Congo, that's in Africa. But as far as
All right, how about this? No one's worried about Amish people, and that's a religion.
yeah. So everyone should turn Amish. They don't believe in any
No,
mechanism.
but I'm saying is that the fact that it's a lot of people try and put religion under this one umbrella where everything's bad, and that's not the case because Islam is as a form of religious terrorism, is mostly the one that's committing these acts.
Right now, in this point in day and age, but you go back to the Salem witch trials. Who do you think was committing those acts of terrorism? You can come up further closer than that. You could also talk about what Jim Jones, the cult. The people he ended up killing a bunch of people and getting them to kill themselves. That was a
Well,
cult.
there is no other time than now, as far as I'm concerned, and the future.
Okay, Dylan, dude that killed the 9 in the church, or the dude that went into the abortion clinic.
I know, but it still pales in comparison to the number of Islamic religious attacks that are going on. It's a pale comparison of one every 84 hours in Europe right now. That's going on right now.
Oh, right. Okay. But what was it? What? Okay, you know that statistic, but what was it? What was the statistic for it to go on in the Middle East or for Africa? You don't know because
more.
okay. So
it's
why
probably more.
Anything? So why weren't you saying anything then?
So are you saying this is a white privilege thing that Western?
I'm not even saying. I'm saying that it's a Western. It's a Western like a Westernized. What's it called? Privilege thing. Yes.
Well,
we're not doing anything until again we're reacting.
Kenny, the Western civilization is more important than the rest of the world. I don't know if you caught that one yet. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I expect one of those from you at least every episode now. So I'm gonna bring a bell from now on and hit it. Ding.
Yeah, I would stand by that.
Yeah, that was similar to along the same lines as that dude that just said at the Republican convention, Steve King from Iowa. He basically said that no minority class that's here has ever produced anything like significant.
What?
You didn't hear that? The dude he's a senator from.
Was that the headline, like the speech that no one caught?
No,
at the,
no. It wasn't.
RNC?
It was. He was giving an interview like during the middle of the day on MSNBC, and he said that. Yeah, he just basically said that a white Christian civilization is responsible for every significant invention in history, and that that minorities haven't really produced anything in terms of in terms of advances to society. And like they had to go to break because they like people were just like, wait, like nobody, everyone wanted to answer, but they didn't have enough time to get everybody in. So he was like, whoa, we're just going to break. We got to go. And they went to break. But
well, there are some bigots out there.
Yeah, it happens.
So I'm glad talking about the Democratic vice presidential candidate brought up such a colorful conversation. Now the VP on the Republican side, I might add, and these vice presidents aren't chosen. They aren't like the chosen running, but the party chooses the vice president. It's not like Donald Trump said, "I want that guy." The party chooses it.
No, I'm pretty sure it comes down to Trump. I mean, I'm sure like the party influenced and probably was like
no, because it's better because you can't have a presidential candidate sabotage the whole party by choosing a vice president that's not going to be.
So you're saying that
they do it by vote. That's what the convention is about, I believe. I mean, I wish Sean Coco's here right now.
No, so you're saying that the Republican committee in 2008 voted for Sarah Palin. That's what you're saying.
I think they did.
No, they didn't. It comes down to each individual campaign to pick it. It's basically like
from what I read, it's the party. Maybe it's the presidential party. I don't know.
The campaign does with the campaign or with
they do it by vote at the conventions. It's what I have. That's what I written down. I wouldn't write it down.
That's for the platform that they're going to run on. That's what they vote at. That's what they vote on at the convention. And they basically vote.
From what I read, it's better for the party to choose the VP.
You can't.
Just like they choose the presidential candidate.
Then you can't read because that's not it. It's Trump. Remember they kept saying that Trump was thinking about changing his mind last minute and wanted to change his mind last minute, but decided not to.
Okay, well, what I want you to do is find a piece that proves me wrong and post it on Mercury's Cast on Facebook, and you can find us Mercury's Cast on Twitter and Mercury's Cast on Instagram.
We'll just ask Sean. I'll post it in the group chat, and Sean will know.
One of the Seans will know.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're gonna want to get on at this point.
Gosh damn it! If we couldn't have both of them on all the time, that would be great. They would just fill in the blanks for these little arguments. We just need them to just sit and then let me and you talk, and then no, you guys are wrong there. And okay.
Oh man, I got to be the judge of everything.
Well, anyways, Mike Pence. Since you went on about Mr. Kane, he's from actually a Roman Catholic Democratic family, and from 1995 to 1999, he hosted his own Mike Pence show in Indianapolis. So I guess we can give a shout out to him because he's doing the same thing that we're doing right now, which is broadcasting thoughts and ideas.
Who, Pence?
Yeah, he had his own show for 4 years on national radio.
Yeah, that's actually kind of impressive.
Good for him, right?
Yep.
Now he's a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. So he is a strong So now it seems like both these VPs have a strong Christian background, right? Am I right or am I right?
Yes,
So
yes,
Sean
they are
says a
very.
candidate. Sean says a candidate.
Hey, told you.
What? That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You said the party.
Oh, I did.
I know you did.
Maybe Wikipedia. I got that from Wikipedia, so maybe that's
There's your first problem.
Wikipedia is a legit source of information. All right. All right. So the party. So ask him now. Does the party have anything to do with it? Could they veto in a possible situation where the party didn't want? Say they wanted to. Say Donald Trump wanted to nominate freaking uh, Michael Charles Manson. I mean, there's no way they would let that happen. There's got to be.
No, I'm telling you, because the VP basically the president, because the VP does have that ability to ruin someone's run. So they don't want the party to be responsible for it. They were gonna want the candidate to be responsible for it. It's
I think
basically like an endorsement.
Sarah Palin just got a bad rap, as far as I'm concerned.
Are you serious? I would at least. She got a compliment the other day from Nicole Wallace, which is actually a conservative strategist, campaign strategist. But she got a compliment the other day. She said at least Sarah Palin tried to get informed on the topics. Donald Trump just doesn't care to be informed and just kind of goes out and willy-nilly just comments on stuff. He didn't even know we were already in Russia, or that Russia was already in Ukraine.
Well, what Sarah Palin's problem was that she tried to go Donald Trump and sit down with someone who was going to ask her some real questions, and she just looked like a fool. That was the beginning of her downfall.
Sean says he's sure that they have influence on the decision, but it comes down to the candidate. And besides, you gotta possibly be on the bus with this dude for how long?
Yeah, what if he stinks?
Imagine like back in the day, when the candidates, whoever came in second place used to be the vice president. Like, what kind of dysfunction would that lead to? Like that's why they used to think that vice presidents would kill the president, because it's a cold game.
Well, oh yeah.
Yeah, because back in the day, I don't remember when they changed it.
That's how Abraham Lincoln. And
apparently he was third party candidate. I saw some kind of meme like that today. I didn't have time to verify it, but apparently the Republicans were like a third party. What's it called during that time?
Yeah, there was the barf party or something. Not barf, but
the Whigs.
The Whigs, yeah, same thing. Yeah, it was that party.
The Whigs, the barfs.
Anyways, so the Germany bomb attack, 12 injured, 1 dead with the bomber. He was denied asylum by Germany, so this is a clear case of a refugee, coming into Germany and causing some ruckus. And Germany they've accepted a couple million.
That's not a terrorist, or that's not a Islamic terrorist attack. Then that means he just did it because he had no other hope.
So let's just go
suicide murder.
Come on, he's from Syria.
That doesn't make it. Okay, what if he was Christian? Do you even know his religion? He might not have even been Islamic. There are Christians in Syria. Christians are the ones fleeing, and Muslims too. But Christians are a large population fleeing the area because they were being beheaded and their heads being placed on spikes.
You really gonna say that there's a possibility that he's Christian?
Yeah. There's a possibility he's Christian, or he could be Hindu, he could be Buddhist, he could be an atheist. You might have just saw no other hope.
In a country where they will stone your wife to death for adultery,
Okay,
that pretty much practices Sharia law.
okay, what did you read? You read this dude blew himself up and a bunch of other people because he couldn't get into a country.
Well, he's in the country. He was just denied asylum.
Okay, so that means he was going to have to go back to another place. Did he claim to be a part of ISIS before he blew himself up like all of them do?
Well, he was a Muslim.
No, did you read that somewhere, or you just?
Yeah, it was a Muslim suicide bomber. Who else does that? No one else does that.
Yes. Other people do that.
Right. Show me a Christian suicide bomber.
All right, I'll look it up.
Okay, I want it done in the last year.
Okay. Again, you're just picking one point of time in history.
Yeah, that's the only important part of time in history. That is, it matters is right now.
Okay, so then So then the fact that crime is at an all-time low right now in 20 years should be the only thing that matters.
Where are you talking about crimes at all-time low?
It's in the FBI or whoever does the reports on these damn things. It's at an all-time low. Police killings are at an all-time low.
So do you think that because they're reporting it, that because it's being reported that crimes that only crime that can be reported is if they get caught?
Travis, you can't move the goalpost, bro. You're moving like you can't. Like,
yes, you can. Just the same thing that with the unemployment rate, like a lot of people like to talk about with Obama.
Yes. Okay, you're just going to say less people are in the workforce. But that's the only way that we have to measure. That's not
what I'm going to say.
Okay, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I'm going to say that the way they get these records is the amount of people that are on unemployment. They don't know who, if you just come to America and you don't have a job, there's no way that the government knows that you're unemployed, that you don't have a job. So the way they get these numbers is by the people that are getting paid unemployment. And so it was really hard for me to get it. When I did get it, I had to jump through like so many more hoops and hurdles because they judge their unemployment rate by the amount of people that are collecting unemployment. So the same thing with crime. You could apply that to the same thing as a crime rate.
No, you can't.
Like with the exception of like murders and burglaries.
Well, then if that's the case, then you don't accept any numbers that would ever be put out there.
I really kind of don't. Kind of take them with a grain of salt.
Then you will never be satisfied. You'll never be happy if that's the case. Like there would be nothing that any president could ever do, because even if they were excelling, you would be like, no, I don't believe it because something didn't go reported. Like that doesn't make sense. You can only judge this president by the same standards that you've judged other presidents.
Well, I know that,
and the judge, and that goes by the economy and
healthcare premiums. Healthcare premiums.
Okay. It's lower. It's
conflict, gay marriage.
Your healthcare premium is lower than it would be if you had your old, what's it called?
Oh no, it's not. Oh no, it's not.
Then you're not doing something right. I'm just letting you know.
Okay, I would talk to my wife about that because she's pretty smart about these things, and we have been kind of screwed. Just for the simple fact that I've been unemployed for 1 month, that we finally were for 1 month. If at my other rate that I was getting paid, which it was not that much money, put me in a certain bracket to where we couldn't afford health care. Because what I was doing was on the books, and what I'm doing kind of right now, I'm saying, kind of not. But before we couldn't afford it, and with living in Baker's hell, we moved here because of the low rent. We would not be able to afford healthcare.
Well, okay. The tricky thing with healthcare is it does come down to everyone's individual situation. But I know as far as me and anybody else with pre-existing conditions, wasn't allowed to have healthcare at all, even if you could afford it. Like they would not give it to you. So what do you do with those people? And that's what this healthcare problem, or that's what this healthcare thing does address. There's no longer a issue that you could have, a medical issue that you can have that a insurance company can deny you for.
Yeah, right. You go to an emergency room, you get hit with the fat bill still. It doesn't matter who you are.
If you don't pay it, you know who does pay it? Everybody, because that's what hikes everyone's premiums up. That's why premiums always go up. That's why they don't go down, because people don't they don't end up paying their medical bills, and that medical bill gets put on everybody else. So it doesn't just go somewhere else.
So that's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's why anyone who goes to the emergency room gets treatment, no matter who it is. But would you rather them have to stop and wait to verify if you have health insurance in order to get help if you're bleeding out?
I brought someone from Mexico to an emergency room, and all they asked for, first they asked for ID.
They shouldn't ask for anything if you need medical help. Travis, what if you don't have your wallet on you?
But the problem with what they're doing now is that so what the doctors are being forced to do is hike up their costs, because they're not being paid the same amount as what they would be under the normal circumstances. So what they're going to start to do now, because they're all getting paid a flat rate. So what they're going to start doing now is you're going to see this happen in 5 years. You quote me on this right now, I guarantee it's going to happen. You're going to find these clinics, the real good clinics, are going to start accepting cash, and they're going to do it under the table. And the government's not going to find out about it. And the best places that you are going to go for healthcare are going to be a cash system.
Who can afford cash systems? Who can afford that?
The rich people.
Yes, the rich, but they already do that anyways. They go overseas and pay black market for black market kidneys, and that's already being done. The poor, the people who need healthcare, aren't going to be able to afford that.
I know, but they will still get treatment when they go to the emergency room, and then someone else is going to have to pay for it.
Okay, so why?
Or the hospital.
Right, Travis. I understand what you're saying, but if a poor person goes to the emergency room with no health insurance, right?
Right.
Everyone else is going to have to pay that bill.
Somebody's going to have to pay it. Somebody's going to have to pay it.
Versus we allow this person who can afford it a little bit of government assistance in order to afford it.
But that's not government.
Everything. Okay, let me put it this way.
Government assistance.
Okay,
that person should
that
be
is government assistance. What is that?
That person should be personally responsible for their condition.
Okay.
And if they die owing a big debt to a hospital, well, the hospital makes enough money. It shouldn't be on the taxpayers to pay for that person's medical condition. I know it's fucked up, and it's not an easy, simple. It's not as cut and dry as you're saying that it is.
Travis, where is that money going to come from? Where is that money going to come from? If someone can't afford it, if I got sick with something and I couldn't afford healthcare, and I went to get treatment, they're not going to give me the most. They're not going to give me the best treatment available.
Now the taxpayers are going to pay for it,
but they're not going to give me the best treatment available. They're not.
You have to find the right. You can't go if you live in the hood. You can't go to the hood walk-in clinic. You got to go somewhere else. It's about being smart too. You got to be smarter than the system that we are involved in. We won't just like my son has a bad case of bacterial pink eye right now, and we were with a decision on Saturday night where we could go to because of our Medi-Cal, which is fucking dick, and there's one spot that we chose to go to, but they couldn't accept us till the next morning. It kind of cleared up the next morning, and we ended up taking them today because it got worse. But our options on a Saturday night with Medi-Cal and the reviews that you go on these spots to look up are shitty. And my wife will not step foot in there and deal with like people. She like the hood walk-in clinics. She will not deal with at all. Like she just can't. Like she can't function when she like with the amount of diseases and bacteria. Like and the people are shitty. It's not good healthcare. It's not. It's shitty healthcare. It is.
I agree with you 100%. So what do you think people from the hood have been dealing with then forever? So you're saying it's okay for them to accept that healthcare, but you don't. That's exactly what you're saying. And I know you're not saying that, but inadvertently that's what you're saying. You're saying, well, then they should be able to choose to go somewhere else.
A good hospital.
What if they can't drive or physically get to another place?
So
these walk-in clinics are in the hood because there aren't full emergency centers built there. Like it's not. Trust me, if they had access to better hospitals, they would love it. But they don't have access to it. And that's not just the hood. That's also rural white parts of America too. Some of the worst healthcare is in
white hoods too. There's one right next to a couple miles down the fucking way. There's a white hood. And
right.
It's the same thing. But so what you're saying is that Obamacare has, and I've actually done work from the last company that I was working for, which wasn't that bad. They're called Sierra Vista. They weren't bad walk-in clinics. I don't think my wife would still go there, but why shouldn't they be allowed to go to the best places? Why are they confined to these rat shitholes? And some are worse than others.
It's usually based off of location and location proximity. You don't, if you're in the hood, chances are you're more likely not to have your own private transportation. You're not going to take 15 buses to get to the hospital if you're in an emergency.
There's Uber and a couple other.
Yeah, because so many people that live in the hood or in trailer parks have credit cards on file, have bank accounts to be able to run Uber or Lyft or any of the modern.
Well, I hope they do. I mean, shit.
It's not. No, that you already have
someone with the car. You got a brother, a cousin, aunt, a niece, an uncle, a neighbor's cousin's brother's uncle's pet owner.
Yeah, but it's just not. I don't know. To me and you, it seems like it's that easy, but it's not. It's not. It sucks to say, but a lot of them just don't know any better or don't know any different. Like it's never been told to them like that. Like it comes to just cultural differences.
Well, so what happened before? They just went to like a better ER room and they didn't get stuck with the debt.
They got put in that category you talk about of getting unreported, or like you got to figure a lot of these places probably did a lot of paperwork by hand. So once they caught a fire or a flood or something, a lot of those records probably have disappeared by now. Now with like modern day technology and a lot of them, having databases online, a lot more people's records are being kept, and better records are just being logged. So a lot more cases are more made available. But it's kind of like the thing with the cameras. It's just the cases aren't new. It's just there's more people observing it, more eyes watching it.
So what happened with an illegal immigrant that came here in 2000 who lived in Anaheim, who went to a good hospital in Anaheim? What happened with that bill, do you think, when they had computers around?
An illegal immigrant that came here in like 2000, was he working? Because if he's working, he's paying, like his employer's paying taxes on him.
So it would be up to the employer to fix this problem?
I know. I'm saying the thing with the illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants, sorry.
Illegal alien. You said it, not me.
Is
you goddamn bigot.
Is that they work. And like taxes are paid on them, whether it's directly or not. They're still outputting a good. that is bringing the owner of the company some kind of revenue, and that revenue, if everything is legit, is being paying taxed on. So they're contributing to society. They're just not allowed to take out any of the benefits, other than if they get hurt, they get to go to the ER. Oh, they get to actually get
The
medical
ER,
health care. That's huge. What if you're in another country and you got hurt, and they were just like,
you know what? That's a whole nother wormhole.
that isn't. That would just that's the same thing.
Yeah, if you're in Zimbabwe, you're not going to get the same kind of health care coverage that you're getting in America.
Okay, but what if you're in Germany, a nice part of Germany, or a nice part of Mexico, where like they don't do some procedures here in the US and they have to go overseas or go travel internationally to get procedures done? Like, I would, trust me, I would much rather be treated here if I got any disease. But you do realize like America's not number one in healthcare, right?
It's not.
So what makes you think that what we were doing before was helping in any way, shape, or form? Like,
is that it wouldn't fall upon the middle class to pay for it, or the upper class.
Well, do you also do realize that a lot of states have been fighting tooth and nail to not implement it, which has also not helped in keeping premiums down? You do realize that, right?
So should it be on a state by state basis?
Should each state decide whether or not a citizen gets health care? Is that what you're saying? No, I don't. I think healthcare
the
is
type of coverage that they get, because if they don't want free healthcare,
okay, you could do that. You could do that, but guess what? It then drives up the cover. It then drives up the premiums for other people, because if in one state you're offering X, Y, and Z coverage, and in another state you're only offering X and Y, who's going to make up for that Z coverage in payment? All the other people that are getting X, Y, and Z. So that's a smaller portion of the community, but everyone's still needing it. So it's not going to keep.
Not everyone needs it. Not everyone needs it.
Not everyone needs it, but let's put it this way. Big argument is contraceptive, right? In this debate, should each state have to provide contraceptive to people, or should each company or each individual business, right? But what's going to happen if just because someone says to your face they don't need contraceptive, that doesn't mean in private they don't want it or need it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they don't want to, for religious reasons, they're not going to say out loud what they do behind closed doors. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have it.
Well, I think we've both shared ideas. I'm gonna have an intermission, and then we're gonna close out with some fun stuff.
All right.
How about that?
I'm with it.
I'm with it. All right. I need to go pee, and then a little intermission. We're at an hour.
All right.
We'll do another half hour.
I'll vamp for a second. I'll talk about my stuff.
Go for it.
All right, guys. What's going on? So let me do a little Moist Day Club spiel for those that might be listening or interested in listening or attending the event. So the event is a 2016 Summer Music Showcase. It is once again on August 20th from 8 to 1 at Big Jim's in Sun Valley, California. That's in the Burbank, San Fernando Valley roundabouts for those that know the area. And yeah, it's just gonna showcase some of the musical talents of Moist Day Club, which is an artist collaboration site. And yeah, we're just going to showcase, have live performances of by Shadi, Amadi, Serge, and Charlie Brown. They're all musical acts, and then we'll also be celebrating my sister's birthday in style. It'll be a great networking opportunity for anyone in the music game. That's DJs, producers, writers, rappers, singers, dancers. If you're involved with hip hop, R&B, you're going to want to be there. There'll be some special guests there. I don't want to necessarily announce it yet, just because it is our first event and I don't want to make it seem more than what it is, even though it's going to be amazing. I want it to more speak for itself. So Yeah, if you're in the LA area, I would love to have you guys there. Once again, that's at Big Gems. Address is 8950 Lower Canyon Boulevard, Sun Valley, California, 91352. Once again, that's Big Gems, 8950 Lower Canyon Boulevard, Sun Valley, California, 91352. Yeah, it'll be dope. Um, yeah, come out, show your support, and yeah, appreciate it in advance. Travis swears he can pee this long. Oh, he must have had to squat and wipe. Other exciting news. I am working on a book slash screenplay that should be done within about, I don't know, a week or two. It probably could be done sooner, but it just all depends on um, how dedicated I am to sitting down and writing. I probably have about somewhere around 50 pages left, but that's easier said than done. We will see though. And I think Travis is just about here. So
Okay. Now that we've got it out of the way that you're a bleeding heart tree hugger and I'm a bigot racist or something.
No, you're just 48% of America, and I'm 48% of America.
And the other 4% can't write or read.
No, they're the ones we're fighting for right now for the presidential election to sway.
I ain't fighting for them.
Well, you know what I mean. That's who the candidates are fighting for. That's generally the electorate that decides the sway of the election. This one's going to be a little bit more just because the hate for both candidates is so high.
Yeah, it seems like if you support Donald Trump, you're a racist bigot, and if you support Hillary Clinton, you're an informed idiot. It's kind of what it boils down to.
Oh my! I see. Yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
the general consensus.
No, definitely general consensus, but it's so baffling to me that Donald Trump can be like, Hillary is a lying Hillary, or all these things, but nothing that he says is true.
Well, I mean, she's been caught in 200,000 lies already.
Listen, yes, okay. The thing about the email scandal, I've long tried not given up trying to defend her on. Like, there's nothing I could say. Like, that's just bad all the way around. But I'm literally saying there is nothing that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth that is true or possible.
Okay, well, you know what? Hold on to that for episode 20 because we're gonna.
Okay.
We're done with that part of the show, and there's going to be plenty more time to talk about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Right? We got August, September, October. Right? There's 3 months, and I'm sure there's more shit that's going to come out. So let's get into some normal stuff that we'd like to talk about. And actually, I have a great question for you.
What's up?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Who would you like to? Speaking of the two, who would you rather? And neither one is a good option. Let's put it that way. Who would you rather watch have sex with their partner, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? Go.
Donald Trump.
Oh, what?
You said, who would you rather watch have sex with their partner? Melania? I would. What?
Ooh.
What kind of choice is that? That's either Bill Clinton's nasty slapping balls. I mean, I guess it's
All
also
right,
Donald Trump's old slapping balls too.
I'm gonna go with Hillary just because it would be weird to see her naked and see Bill Clinton naked too. I mean, come on, that's.
I thought you said who would you enjoy more?
Who would you rather?
Oh,
I mean, you're not gonna jerk off to either of these two. I hope not. But
who? Why would you rather see Hillary Clinton than Bill Clinton though? Like,
just because how fascinating it would be. I just think that the clothes are off and it's all raw, and they probably haven't had sex in years, so that would be interesting.
That would be an interesting conversation to have with them. When was the last time you guys actually did it?
For them or me and my wife?
No, I'm not. I mean, if you want to share that too, that's on you. But no, I was talking about Bill Clinton and Hillary. No, that's not it. No, don't actually share it, Travis. Let me save you.
We had an argument, but it turned out all right.
Yeah, makeup sex is the best sex.
Yeah. Happens twice sometimes.
Give her the old heave ho, huh?
It's the best one. I wish we had like two people on for that, because that would be a good group discussion. And we lost our one viewer on that
one. What would be the good?
Who would you rather?
Oh, ooh. Yeah, no, that would be an interesting go around. Have to come up with a list of them first.
Yeah.
That way we wouldn't have to think of them on the spot.
Who would you rather have sex? Watch have sex. Not who would you rather have sex with? That would be just weird.
Oh God.
So did you have it? Is it racist? I thought you had one. Can you remember?
I believe it might be in our group chat. Oh, it was.
Are you gonna look for it?
No, I already know what it is.
Okay.
It was this dude. It was this. I think it was like set up to be a viral video, but the setting was a public transportation bus, and the bus driver started singing in like, I don't really know. I want to say Arabic. And like all the passengers on the bus kind of start like looking at each other like, oh shit, like should we be scared? And then like one of the passengers, or like a couple of other passengers on the bus, one starts playing the drums and like starts making the beat, and it ends up being a hip hop song. I can't remember the song exactly. So Contagious. It ends up being that song. And but the funny thing is when it first starts out and the bus driver ends up like singing in Arabic, like yeah, the bus passengers kind of just like look at each other like, oh shit, like, what should we do? Bus driver
right now, right now. Guy ain't making it out of fucking the next bus stop.
So, is it racist to have that pop up into your mind?
No, it's not.
Or is that just self-preservation?
Self-preservation. I got my son up. Stop the bus right now. We're getting off.
You're pulling the string. The ding,
ding, ding, ding, bing bong. And you can shamalama ding dong to the next fucking bus stop.
What about this? Do you have any information or any further information on the crisis with Korea and their declaring war on the U.S.?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Kenny. I got an article right here quoting Kim Jong-un. You want war? You got it. U.S. calls Kim Jong-un's bluff by deploying supersonic bomber. Let me just read the article. President Barack Obama has called Kim Jong-un's bluff by sending supersonic bombers to bases near North Korea just days after the crackpot. I guess that's up for debate. I mean, why do you gotta go and diss him like that? Why do you think he's already fucking mad? All right. After the crackpot dictator declared war on America, which is kind of like a serious thing. I mean, you can't just take Even if it was like Luxembourg declares war on America.
They're still technically at war with South Korea.
They're at war with everybody. They're at war with fucking humanity.
Yeah, they have like a city that's like built to the sky, the scale of New York City, but don't have anyone living in it. It's like a,
and probably no electricity.
Yep, it's rolling blackouts all the time there.
The crazed leader of the hermit state accused Mr. Obama of crossing the red line after introducing trade sanctions last week and promised the toughest countermeasures in response. However, rather than back down and call off the sanctions, U.S. have instead sent supersonic strike bombers, which North Korea definitely does not have any kind of technology like that, to bases near the Asian state, daring Kim to blink first. The B-1B Lancer bombers are being sent to Guam, a U.S. territory in the Pacific Ocean within striking range of the secretive state's capital, Pyongyang. They are replacing the raging fleet of B-52s, which are outdated, held on by the island's Andersen Air Force Base. Around 300 U.S. airmen are being deployed to the base in response to the increasing aggression of the Maverick leader. A spokesman for the U.S. Air Force said the B-1 units bring a unique perspective and years of repeated combat and operational experience from the Central Command Theater of the Pacific, which is also in the South China. That could cause some shit itself. So basically what's going down, I'll read the last paragraph. Under order, these are all in quotations. The key message from the party was that the South National Intelligence Service had released snakes as a part of cunning scheme to challenge our unity under orders to capture the stakes before what I don't know about these stakes. Whatever. So it's like he's out there beating his chest again, declaring war on America, which is like, hello, what the hell is going on in North Korea? They're declaring war on the U.S. again.
I want whatever he's smoking.
Yeah, or whatever he's drinking.
That's that cognac. He's like a huge
the world's largest consumer or something like
Hennessy.
that.
Yeah, Hennessy.
You know what? He likes basketball. He likes Hennessy. He probably smokes blunts on the side. I might want to go hang out with him. Like me, I want to take a trip with Dennis Rodman and go hang out with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Dennis Rodman seems a little looks like he has a few nuts loose. But
well, he wore a dress at his wedding, so
where he married himself.
I'm feeling myself.
Yeah, that's the ultimate feeling, or that's the ultimate analogy.
Yeah, shout out to Dennis Rodman for keeping it real.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I right?
That is true. He's always stuck to himself being him.
Yeah, well, you know, with the crazy hair and all that. And all that. So what's up? You got any shout outs for anyone this week?
Shout out to Moist Day Club. I got to start shouting out my own company until I get other people to start doing it for me. So shout out to Moist Day Club, representing all the up and coming artists trying to make a name for themselves. We're trying to get you the media coverage that you need, trying to get your guys' visual projects right and crisp, and stepping your guys' game up as well as my own as a photographer, videographer, and content creator. So anybody interested that's an artist, hit me up. And shout out to let's see, to you, Travis, for putting this awesome podcast together.
And you know, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You can keep giving me praises all night long. That is all right by me. No, I got some guests in mind lined up, and you know, I think me and you do a good job, and I think it's just as fine having other people with their opinions and some interesting people on board right now. I don't want to. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, and it'll be more like interview type shows that we'll dive into these people's lives and get their opinions on stuff.
Oh,
And
I here's one interesting fact today. That I actually had to delete like my first Bernie supporter, just because like it was just getting too much with all the anti-Hillary. Like this person was definitely a Bernie or bust person, and I just had to, like, it was just like, give it up, bro. Like, I understand you're hurt, but
he went too far.
yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't even that he went too far. It was just like, okay, like, stop. Like I feel, yeah, I feel your pain, but, and I'm all about like open ideas, like, I haven't deleted you, for God's sakes. But no, no, but yeah, I've had to do it a couple. I've done it quite a bit in like this past month. Probably deleted about 15 people, and most of them have been like extreme right wing, on the extreme right wing side. But yeah, did the first Bernie supporter today.
Well, don't delete me.
Nah. You actually have substance, and you do a lot of your posts to create conversation. These people were just like diehards, like
hate.
Yeah, either that or just like, yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like a good idea, but anyways.
So one quick question: how I was listening to this song in the shower, and it made me think of you while I was naked.
I don't know if I want to hear the rest of this.
No, that song by The Weeknd, "Can't Feel My Face." How crazy does the place go off when that song comes on?
Yeah, pretty much any song by like The Weeknd or Drake, any song that's about drugs goes off in Vegas. At any point, any analogy you make or reference about it, like the whole club either knows that part or, yeah. So
great. I'm booking my trip to Vegas right now.
The only surprise that the DJ has is if they have like a new mix version to a song, and then you might catch them off guard. But other than that, like, most of the crowd is probably singing every song that comes on anyways. That's why EDM seems to be a big hit out here, because it kind of keeps people guessing.
Right on. Well, we will close this one out, and I want to give a shout out to Gary Johnson, because I think he's the best candidate, and he's the most likely person for a third party to emerge.
I do agree with some of his principles. I do like him. I do like him. I'm not too sure about his tax policy, which I'm pretty sure is
it's a little outrageous. It is. It's a little outrageous.
That might be our biggest. That might actually be the biggest hiccup that would be from me supporting him, other than the fact that he doesn't have a chance on winning.
He has a chance to get on the ballot in 2020. He does.
Yeah. I'm not doubting that.
If things go smoothly for him, if they keep on progressing,
right?
And the two-party system, maybe next time I'll get into it. I don't like it.
Yeah, we can get into it, but it would be even worse if it wasn't. Think about that. It would be even worse because there would be less population.
Well, no, you think about it, and we'll talk about it next time.
All right.
And there is some stuff I didn't get to that we'll get to next time. Maybe like the 12 richest families in the world that own most of the wealth. I'd like to spend some time on that. And because that brings into view a lot of other questions that, big picture questions. So, but anyway, shout out to, do you have anything to say about that? Just real quick.
No, you covered it well. We'll get it next time.
Okay. Yeah. The Rothschilds, the Hearst Corp, SC Johnson, Just they're the amount of power that they have. Money buys power, right?
So the conglomerates you want to go in on?
Yeah,
All right, I'm down with it.
The United States of America is actually the corporate states of America, but we'll get into that maybe on 20.
GE.
So on that note, everyone just step your game up, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.